My father's voice cracked through the dinner table like a whip. All you do is take. You've never given this family anything. The silence that followed was heavier than the accusation itself. My mother's fork froze midair. My sister glanced down at her plate. The only sound was the ticking of the wall clock, marking the seconds of my humiliation. I didn't argue. I didn't cry. I just stared at him, at the man who'd built his life on control and called it love. He leaned forward, eyes burning. If you've got any pride left, leave tonight. I stood up quietly. No theatrics, no slam. Doors, just a nod. And I left. He thought he'd won that night. He didn't. No, he just cut out the one thing, keeping this family afloat. My father loved two things, control and appearances. When I was younger, I mistook both for affection. Every A, brought home every medal, every late night at my part-time job. He dismissed them as expected. I learned early that nothing I did was ever enough. He built a small empire from the ground up, a logistics company with his name plastered on every truck. My mother handled the books, my sister the clients. I handled the finances quietly, efficiently, without praise. When Dad fell ill 3 years ago, I took over the payroll, the insurance, the suppliers. I saved the company from bankruptcy during the pandemic by refinancing contracts and moving funds between accounts. He never knew. He just thought the world recovered. I didn't need thanks. I needed peace. But peace and pride don't coexist in his house. It started small. The jokes at my expense. Still working. That desk job, huh? Maybe one day you'll make yourself useful. Then it escalated. He began handing my responsibilities to my sister. She was a golden child. Smiled on cue, dressed like an ad, never. Questioned him. I noticed things, missing invoices, irregularities in the company statements, my father and sister transferring assets without telling me, my name quietly disappearing from internal documents. When I confronted him, he waved me off. You wouldn't understand business, son. That's when I realized it wasn't just emotional exile. It was financial. They were cutting me out completely. He'd always been the king. Now he wanted to erase the prince. I stopped reacting. I started observing while they laughed about family dinners. And legacy, I accessed the company. Account one last time. Every contract I drafted, every insurance policy I'd negotiated, every tuition transfer I'd automated for my sister's university. Fund. I didn't take anything. I didn't steal. I simply redirected ownership. Legally, cleanly. The payroll software. I'd built it. The vendor accounts. Registered in my name. The autopay. Systems linked to my personal business. Debit. I made copies quietly. Thoroughly. Then I waited. When he shouted at me that night, I knew he'd made my decision for me. I packed one, bagged, closed my laptop, and walked out of that house without a sound. By morning, every transfer authorization tied to me was disabled. Every payment I once approved, frozen. They didn't even notice. The first week after I left, I stayed silent. Not a word, not a message. I let them believe I was sulking. Week 2, the vendor calls began. Your payment didn't clear. The contract expired. Your insurance. Premiums overdue. By week 3, The company car was declined. My father blamed accounting. My sister panicked when her tuition didn't post. That's when she called me, voice trembling. Why? Did the tuition payment stop? I stared at her message for a long time. Then I typed, thought I never gave this family anything. I didn't send a paragraph, just that one line. It was enough. They tried to fix it, of course, but every file, every system, every vendor contact ran through me. My digital fingerprints were everywhere. My father tried calling. Once, twice, then 10 times. I didn't answer. He went from angry to desperate, from desperate to quiet. That silence was worth every scar. A month later, I met him, not at home at the bank. He looked smaller somehow, shoulders slumped, eyes tired. Why would you do this? He asked. His voice wasn't loud. This time, it cracked. We're family. I leaned back in my chair, calm. You told me to leave if I had pride left. I did. Now I'm just living up to your words. He tried to reason with me, but I could see it. He finally understood. Every ungrateful thing I did had kept his empire intact. I handed him a single envelope. Inside was a list of accounts, passwords, and pending invoices. I won't let the employees suffer, I said, but the rest you'll have to rebuild yourself. He didn't speak. His hand trembled over the paper. I never wanted control, I said, just respect. And I walked away this time, not quietly. My footsteps echoed through that marble lobby, loud and final. A week later, I heard through mutual contacts. The company downsized. The mansion was listed for sale. My sister deferred a semester. My mother finally called, not to accuse, but to apologize. I didn't gloat. I didn't go back. Sometimes revenge isn't fire and fury. It's absence. It's letting people feel the gravity of what you used to hold. Together, my father once told me I'd never given this family anything. He was wrong. I gave them stability. I gave them loyalty. I gave them silence when I could have exposed them. And when I left, I gave them the gift of seeing what they'd taken for granted collapse in slow motion. Now, when I wake up, I don't hear the ticking of that clock anymore, just quiet. And in that quiet, I finally hear something I never did in that house. Peace.